The Pregnacare Show is proudly brought to you by
Spretonic,
Floridish Formula.
Having to get immunity to any disease will be through immunization. Immunization is the means whereby a child or a person is made immune or resistant to an infectious disease by administration of a vaccine. These vaccines in the form of drugs stimulate the body's own immune system to protect the child against any subsequent infections or diseases like polio, diarrhea, measles, and others. So, instead of getting the disease, you get a vaccine. And this is what makes vaccines such powerful medicine. Know that vaccines are the world's safest methods to protect children from life-threatening diseases. Getting your baby vaccinated at birth to the required number of years could prevent your child from all the childhood preventable diseases like measles, polio, tuberculosis, and all others. Some of these diseases could have later complications to the child or even death. What should I know about childhood immunization? What are the schedules and how important is it to me as a mother? Welcome to the Pregnancy Care Show. On today's episode, we'll be talking about everything vaccination of the newborn child. My name is Dede. So for today's episode, I have with me two wonderful health workers who will be taking us through everything about vaccination or immunization. Please, you're welcome to the Pregnancy Care Show.
Thank you.
So for the sake of my viewers, we want to know your name, where you work and what you do. So we'll start with our sister from the far.
My name is Ivy Mochwayantechi, a community health nurse from Pokwase Health Center.
Okay, so welcome Auntie Ivy to the Pregnancy Care Show. Okay, so your name as well.
My name is Evelyn Yaro, Municipal Public Health Officer working at Ganot Municipal Health Directorate.
Thank you for coming on our show.
Thank
So
you.
we have Auntie Ivy and Auntie Evelyn for today's episode. The show is brought to you by Floridish and Spretonic. We'll go for a short commercial break. When we come back, the show still continues. Welcome back. If you just joined us, it's still the Pregnancy Care Show, and our topic for today is immunization or vaccination of the newborn child. So, Auntie Evelyn, would want to know what is, when you are talking of immunization, what is immunization? Or when we say vaccination or a vaccine, what do we mean by all those?
So before we understand what is immunization, we have to understand some basics. First of all, we have to understand what is immunity. Immunity is the process whereby your body builds up antibodies against invading pathogens or germs. When your body comes into contact with, your immunity should be able to fight that invading organism, especially children or adults. Yes. And then what is vaccine? Vaccine is preparation that is being made using pathogens or germs in a weak form, or sometimes we say kill form or active form. That's the vaccine. When introduced into a child, the child will be able to fight against any infectious disease that the child might come across during the child's lifetime. So vaccines are preparations that are made to fight, or to, when it is being introduced to the child, it will fight against infections. The child cannot get those infections because the child received those vaccines. Then vaccination too, it is the act of introducing the vaccine into the child or an adult so that that vaccine will produce the same antibodies or antigens. The antigens is the same as vaccines. So when the antigen is being introduced into the child will build immunity against a specific disease. We give vaccination through several routes. One is intramuscular route, one is subcutaneous route, one is oral route through the mouth, sometimes through the nasal, and then sometimes we give IID, that is intradermal, that is BCG, as you mentioned in your introduction. We give it through intradermal routes.
Okay, so Auntie Ivy, why should my baby or my child be vaccinated?
Thank you. As my sister said, the vaccination helps the baby to build immunity. So when the baby is immunized, the baby builds its own antibodies to help fight diseases. In the uterus, the mother goes through antenatal, they're giving these TD injections. It goes a way to help the baby prevent tetanus diseases. So when the baby comes out, the baby has to build his or her own immunity. So the immunization will help the baby to build its own immunity to fight the diseases that will come to him or her. So as human beings, we need food to get energy. So do the baby's immunity to need the vaccine, so that it will build, the baby will build its own immunity to fight against any vaccine preventable diseases that will come across.
At what age should a child start vaccination?
Vaccinated. Straight from birth. When the mother brings the child out and the child cries, know that the child is alive, we start giving the child some of the vaccines so that the child will be protected against tuberculosis. At birth, we give the child tuberculosis vaccine.
So are you saying just at birth?
Yes.
Just immediately at birth? Because what I see is probably some few hours or a day after birth.
No, immediately the child comes out and the midwives clean the child and the child is healthy, nothing's wrong with the child. The nurses will come and administer oral polio vaccine to the child, then they will give the BCG injection to the child. So immediately when the babies come out from the mother's womb.
What if it's not available as at that time? What happens then?
Vaccines are always available in each of the hospitals.
Okay, so Auntie Ivy, how long should immunization or vaccination take in the life of a child? So maybe from birth when the vaccination starts, how long should it last in a child?
Okay, ideally, the vaccination period will take 18 months for some regions in Ghana, and other regions it will take 24 months. Why am I saying this? The MOH has introduced a vaccine, a malaria vaccine, which they are administering in some parts of the region of the country. Others have not started. So if you are at a region where they are administering the malaria vaccine, then the period will be from birth to 24 months. And if you are somewhere like Greater Accra, you've not started administering the malaria vaccine, so it's 18 months in Greater Accra. Then we continue with the vitamin A supplementation every 6 months until the child gets 5 years. But in cases where a baby might default, then the baby will have a lifespan of from birth to 5 years to finish with the vaccination in the case of defaulting.
Okay, so what do I do for my baby or my child after the immediate vaccination? Because some of them will complain that my baby keeps crying after the vaccine, my baby is running temperature, or there's a swell at the site of the injection or something. So what should they do after a vaccine? Okay,
so when mothers come, we sensitize them after taking some specific vaccines, especially pentavalent vaccine. Sometimes because it contains 5 antigens, different type of antigens. Example is pertussis or whooping cough that we normally mention or refer to. Whooping cough, hepatitis B, influenza type B. It contains 5. So because of that, when the child takes it, the child may experience fever, sometimes diarrhea. Rarely does it occur, but sometimes when it occurs, we tell the mother that fever, when it doesn't disappear within 24 hours, they will give first aid of paracetamol. that is 2.5 ml to the child.
Okay.
Then they observe the child. Within 3 days, if the temperature still persists or the temperature is present, they should send the child to any facility so that the child will be taken care of. Sometimes we refer to those occurrence that happen after taking the vaccination for the children or even adults. Adverse events or adverse events following immunization.
Yeah.
So they should be aware of it. Sometimes it's normal. It may disappear without even giving anything to your child. Yes, it will disappear.
Okay, so some might...
Such as the redness at the site of the injection, swelling, it might...
So should they put anything there or they should just...
disappear?
It will disappear.
No, we always educate that they shouldn't put anything.
There.
Some of them will tell you that they kept shea butter on it, ice block on it. No, when you do that, you are even compromising with the vaccine. The way the vaccine will even work, because of you applying certain chemicals at the site of the injection, the vaccine will not work in the child as it's supposed to be. So we advise that they shouldn't put anything on it. Yes.
Okay, so now getting to know that it's very good to vaccinate our children. Have you ever gone into a community where they see vaccination to be a taboo? If yes, how do you deal with such cases?
Yes, there are so many instances we've come across in a community and even in a religion. They see vaccines to be a taboo, especially in the Christian religion. Some they assume God created us in his own image, so naturally we have everything. When Jesus Christ came, he didn't take any medicine, so they need not to be vaccinated. But in certain cases, we have to sit them down, educate them on the benefits of the immunization for the child as the baby is growing or the child is growing. So we just talk on the importance of the vaccine, how it's going to work, how it's going to help the baby, and how it's going to save the parents from their time, money, and energy. Because the baby without vaccination will not be okay, be getting sick. Every day, the hospital, you are spending money, you are wasting your time. So we educate them, and at the conclusion, some allow us to
give them
the vaccines.
Okay, so Auntie Evelyn, are there any medical conditions of a mother that could prevent a child from being vaccinated? Let's say maybe is there any special case like that? Maybe the mother is having this condition, because of that we can't give a vaccine to a child. Do you have cases like that?
Yes, rarely do we have cases like that. These days medications are available, especially the retro-positive clients, pregnant women who are positive with HIV and the person have never come to the clinic or hospital. That is when, after giving birth, if we test the child is positive, we cannot administer BCG for the child. But rarely do we get such cases, because everybody is now aware. Awareness creation have increased. So if the person is pregnant and the person come to facility, the hospital, they do screening for all pregnant women. So those who test positive for HIV, they are being put on ARTs, so that the child will not be positive when the mother gives birth to the child.
So remember that vaccination is important in the life of every child, because it helps your baby to build immunity against certain diseases. And as well, it helps to boost the immune system of that child. We'll go for a short commercial. Before we come back, we'll hit the street to find out what our viewers have for us.
Flouridish Formula is a liquid herbal iron extract
with the benefits of organic iron 3 polymaltose plus vitamin C and other B-complex vitamin, the base of fruit juices and yeast.
Flouridish Formula helps increase your energy level, stamina, and highly nutritional, and also reduces tiredness and fatigue. It contains vitamin B1, B2, B6, B12, and C. Flouridish Formula helps keep the family smart, healthy, and strong. For enquiries, contact Unicom Chemist Limited on 0302 324 595 or 0302 324 383. You can also email unicomchemist@yahoo.com or visit www.unicomchemist.com. This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, it's still the Pregnancy Care Show, and the show is brought to you by Flora Dish and Spetonic. On today's episode, we are looking at immunization of the newborn. So there's nothing to be afraid about immunizing or having your baby being vaccinated. Try and have your babies vaccinated because it is very important. Nothing should hinder you from getting your babies vaccinated. Let's hit the street and find out what our viewers have for us.
My name is Joy Saka. I'm a mother of 2, and what I know about immunization is just after birth you need to give a child certain injection to protect them against certain diseases. Is it important?
Salome Bedu, is my name, and I want to ask, is it advisable to give your baby medicine after immunization?
My name is Miss Dorothy Asante. I heard baby become disabled after immunization. Is it true or false?
My name is Vinolia. I want to find when you come to the CWC where we immunize the children. As a mother, what are you to do and what are you not supposed to do? And little advice on that.
My name is Salome Sewa Boatin, a mother and also a health worker. I want to give an advice on immunization. Immunization is the best choice for babies. That is, after birth. When you immunize your child or your baby, it prevents the baby from 6 killer diseases like measles, TB, and others. It also helps the baby to grow well. It also prevents them from cancer, diabetes, and other diseases. So I would advise all mothers out there to immunize their babies to prevent them from these diseases.
So those were some questions from our viewers on the street, and we are going to answer each and every one of them. So Auntie Evelyn, one of our viewers would want to know, can a child grow without vaccination? Is it even possible?
No, your child will not grow well if you don't send your child to the weighing centers, to the fixed points where nurses give out services for children. If your child is not being vaccinated against the 13 preventable diseases through vaccination, your child will not grow well. You end up sending your whole lifetime saving in sending your child to hospital, herbalist, and then you not get solution to the problem. So it's very important that each mother or a caregiver to send the child to the nearby facility, hospital, so that the child will be vaccinated against the 13 preventable diseases, as we will be mentioning it in our subsequent submission.
Auntie Ivy, our next viewer also wants to know. She said she's heard that through vaccination, some babies become disabled. How true is that?
Vaccines are not harmful.
They are not harmful.
They are harmless. They are safe.
Okay, but our next viewer is asking, what should she do if her child's vaccination day delays, maybe a week or 2 or a month or something? What can she do about that?
Any mother who delays their child vaccination is at liberty to visit any health center, any outbreak points in the community where the nurses will come and weigh the children. Private facility, they render services there. So there is no time limit for your child. So when you miss 1 month, 2 months, you are at liberty to send your child, so the child benefits from what the child missed, or if you didn't send the child early. Because expanded program immunization has introduced a policy that we term it as catch-up policy. After 5 years that we cannot render, the nurses cannot render that service to the child. So missing 1 month, 2 months, or even a year, is not a problem. The child can still benefit from the vaccines. So we are discouraging that mothers should stay at home 2 weeks, 1 month before bringing the child to the health facility for the services to be rendered to the child.
So Auntie Ivy, can you take us through the vaccination or immunization schedule?
Expanded program on immunization says right from birth a baby should start vaccination. So with the help of this flip chart, I'm going to take us through the schedule.
Okay.
So at birth, BCG is being administered to the baby at birth. That will prevent tuberculosis. Then we give oral polio vaccine at birth to prevent polio. Now in 6 weeks, you will still come or visit any health facility or outreach service center. Then you take the same oral polio vaccine. Then you take rotavirus vaccine. That will prevent diarrhea.
Okay.
Yes. Then we administer PCV, which is pneumococcal vaccine. That will prevent pneumonia. Yeah. Then we give pentavalent vaccine. That's the 5-in-1.
Okay.
That vaccine will prevent pertussis, diphtheria, tetanus, hemophilus influenza type B, then hepatitis B.
Okay.
In the children. So if you have this vaccine, you have the antibodies to fight against all these diseases.
Okay. So at 6 weeks, all these vaccines are given at a go.
Yes.
Okay. Just at a day.
At a day.
Okay.
Some mother will say, all this given to my child at once might be scared, but I'm saying it's not harmful.
Okay.
Yes. So this same vaccine will be repeated for 3 months.
Okay.
The first will be on the 6 weeks, 10 weeks, and the 14th weeks. But on the 14th week, the oral polio vaccine that you've been given through the mouth, we've added an injectable. So the baby will take oral polio vaccine, the pneumococcal vaccine, the rota vaccine, then the pentavalent vaccine. Then we will give the IPV, that's the inactivated polio vaccine. That's injectable.
Okay.
So you've taken all the vaccines up to 3 months. So at 6 months, you give vitamin A supplementation as seen on the flip chart.
Okay.
Then at 9.
How is it given?
It's orally.
It's also oral?
Yes.
Okay.
It's orally. Then at 9 months, we will give measles rubella vaccine, then yellow fever, to prevent the measles rubella disease and yellow fever disease.
Okay.
Then at 9 months, we will still give measles rubella 2, then meningitis vaccine, which will prevent the meningitis disease and then measles for the second time. Then at 1 we will give vitamin A supplementation. Then we continue with vitamin A supplementation every 6 months. When the baby is 18 months, we will give meningitis vaccine, then measles.
So just know that it is important to have your child or your babies vaccinated at the right time. So the vaccination comes in schedule, so make sure you follow that schedule. And I know that at every point it's been entered into a book for you. Do not think it's a joke or it's something that is supposed to be done. So I am actually not going for it. Make sure your baby takes all the vaccinations and even the vitamin A as well. Don't think it's just vitamin A. My baby does not need it. My baby will get it from food. We'll go for a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll find out reasons why my baby should be vaccinated, and our health workers here will give us their final words on today's episode.
Yo, Kojo, you look happy and strong.
Yeah, Charlie. But I couldn't have done it without you, you know. Madam was always complaining. But ever since you introduced me to Spetonic, life has been good.
Spetonic helps boost the immune system, fitness level, and performance. A tablet a day is all you need, man.
Spetonic. Strong as a bull. For inquiries, contact Unicom Chemist Limited on 0302 324595 or 0302 324383. Email info@unicomchemist.com.
Spretonic is not suitable for persons under 18. This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back. It's still the Pregnancy Care Show, and the show is brought to you by Flora Dish and Spetonic. So our health workers here will give us their final words on immunization or vaccination. So please look into the camera. Anything you want to tell our mothers on vaccination, kindly tell them.
Okay, thank you very much. Our viewers, we encourage every caregiver or mother to send their child to any nearby hospital, health center, outreach points where our community of nurses give childhood services. That is the expanded program immunization, so that every child will receive the vaccine at the right time within the right interval. During vaccination, a lot of services that expanded program have integrated. When you send your child will be given mosquito nets at 18 months. Then vitamin A2 is part. So a lot of benefits that your child will benefit when you send your child to health center, outreach points, because they reach you at the community. We need every child to be vaccinated to build herd immunity in Ghana municipality, and then Ghana as a whole. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Madam Ivy, anything for our viewers as well?
Okay. I'll entreat every parent or guardian to bring the babies or children to the weighing sites. Everywhere in Ghana, we have weighing. When we come for the weighing, it's not always about immunizations. A whole lot goes into CWC, that's the weighing. We do the growth monitoring, we check the nutritional status, we check their length, we do counseling, even on family planning, a whole lot of education. So I will entreat every guardian to send their children for the vaccination, then the health talks and everything, so that when they come home, they can practice it to make us proud.
Okay. So thank you for joining us on today's episode. We are so thankful and grateful for having you. We are looking forward to having you more of the time on our show. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Okay. So let's look at some reasons why vaccination is essential to our babies. One, it prevents death and disabilities among children. It improves the ability of children from the learning stage to do better in school. It saves lives. For over 2 centuries now, vaccines have safely reduced the surge of diseases like measles, smallpox, and others, helping children to grow well, healthy, and much happier. Immunizations save more than 5 lives every minute, preventing up to 3 million deaths a year, even before the arrival of COVID. On today's episode, we were looking at what vaccination is, and we've learned that it is important for every child to get vaccinated from birth to 5 years. Make sure you do not miss any of the vaccination date. It is better to get your baby vaccinated to improve upon the immune system or to boost the immune system, better than allowing your baby suffer the consequences of those diseases. Thank you for watching today's episode. Follow us on all our social media platforms and keep subscribing to our YouTube channel at the Pregnancy Care Show. If you have any comments, if you have any suggestions, kindly leave them in our comment section on all our social media platform, or you can follow me personally on my IG page at @dede_gau. The show was brought to you by Flora Dish and Spetonic. See you next week.